Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm over in Scotland again. So Gary's coming over tomorrow. I've got a spare day where I'm just going to chill out. There's not a breath of wind today. It's really nice and overcast, so I thought it would be rude not to chuck a few lures, try for a bass. So I'm being very lazy, as you can see. I haven't even bothered putting my waders on. It's got the usual old faithful patch 125. I'm just going to come down for an hour or so and just see if there's anything about, really. Got a little bit of movement on the top as well, just where there's been a slight little bit of easterly. As I say, I'm just going to start with this patch, just working it gently over the surface. If I don't get anything, I've got a little selection of soft plastics in my pocket. That's an Albi snack, really more of a nighttime lure, to be honest. Old faithful Savage Gear gravity stick, white paddle tail, and then I've got more of a natural sandy looking one in the paddle tail as well. And with those I'll fish them with a weedless hook with a couple of grams of extra weight in as well. So well, that in my hungover state, you can probably tell by the smile on my face, was incredibly exciting. I've just been pulling that surface lure and I could see the fin. It snatched it twice, it hooked it, even hooked it, came off, turned, still went back. I could see it following, went for it up to about 10 yards out and then dashed off. So it's definitely something out there. I'm going to keep the camera rolling and see if I can hit it again, because that was really good fun. It's just in this little area here. This is just why I love fishing with surface lures. You just don't get that visual excitement with any other type of fishing, in my view. Right, come on. I'm picking up bits of weed here, but I definitely know there's someone out there. The ground I'm fishing over, I like to fish this area at low water, to be honest, but the ground I'm fishing over is just like sort of a lot of sharp gullies covered in ragweed. I'm probably fishing in, I don't know, 6 to 8 feet, something like that. Tide will be nearly at the top, probably about another half an hour, 45 minutes or so. And there's some big, I don't know if you can see around it, I mean, well, probably not this way because it's just all pebbly beach now, but there's some big boulders and stuff under the water that rise up kind of 2 or 3 feet, which, just trying to avoid a piece of weed there. Which I think the bass will kind of use to their advantage. When a little bit of action like that happens, I always find myself starting to reel too quickly and too hard, not working the lure quite as it should be. So I just always try and remember to keep those taps regular and just a slow turn of the handle, just to make that lure work its way across the surface. And every now and then you can just pause as well, because sometimes if you ever watch a fish in a stream or in a fish tank or in the sea or whatever, small fish, well, any fish for that matter, they're not moving at the same speed all of the time. They obviously do stop and start, you know. Session. Been back at the digs where I'm staying, had a quick kip, recharge with some fuel, come back down,
That little bit of easterly that was blowing before us back right off. The wind's almost gone to nothing. Haven't got the audio gear on because it's threatening rain a little bit, so apologies if it's not great, but hopefully tonight's all about the visuals. As you can see, it's a cracking evening. Lights dropping. I've got about another hour and a half to low water, which is my favourite time to fish this morning. I'm going to start with a patch purely because I love fishing with surface lures, but if they're not doing much, I've got a little selection of soft plastics that I'm going to try because they can be deadly here. So let's crack on, see what we can do. I'm just going to absolutely love fishing for bass. This place, loose bay, when the conditions are like this. Usually mackerel a little bit clumsy, but that one straight in. There he is, little lively monster. Oh, and he's just look at that. We'll put him back and I'll show you what he's just spat out of his mouth. That is first for me. Hopefully he's just spat a little live sand eel out of his mouth. Now if that isn't matching the hatch, I don't know what is. And I think I've just actually saved that little fella's life. Look at that, I've never seen that before. Let's get him back as well. So annoyed with myself for forgetting that headline. What a donkey. Light is dropping. Oh, yes. Oh, this feels more like a bass. Is that talking about the light dropping? Not a big fish. Is it a bass or is it a mackerel again? Yeah, it's a mackerel. Oh, fish is a fish. It's all good fun. There's light here. Come on, little fella. There you go. Small one in. Oh, Yes, lovely. Oh, come on. Lovely little Scottish mackerel. Perfect big bass bait. Let's send them on his way. Bit of claret coming off him, but hopefully he's alright. Hopefully I can get his breakfast off me waders because he's just squirted that all over me leg. Just shows the predatory instinct of a mackerel to still have a go at a surface lure. Well, sure enough, that rain has started. It's a good job the GoPros are waterproof, but look at that. That is absolutely amazing. Full rainbow. You can almost see every single colour in it. Absolutely incredible. Wouldn't it be quite something if I could just cast towards the centre of that rainbow and pull out a fish? Not quite the centre. Nearly went into the drink in front of it, that would have been good. Wow, look at that. Just seen a couple of bait fish break the surface right in front of the direction that my lure's going to come through. There's definitely some activity starting now. Just as this light's fading, I'm seeing more and more little bait fish breaking the surface. Could be mackerel, obviously we know there's mackerel there. I know I keep showing you the same shot, but the colours just seem to be changing all the time. Yes, fish. There's a fish. I think this is either a bigger mackerel or a bass. I think this is a bass. No. No. Bigger mackerel. What do I know, eh? Think this is a bass, think this is a bass. It's a bloody mackerel. And this one, quite skillfully, has taken all three hooks. He didn't want to. Look at that. Look at the last of the sunlight just on those flanks. Let's get him back. Go on, lightning. Something just had a proper flash that there. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. No, I think this could be a bass. He just splashed right out there. This is a mackerel. Yeah. Oh. Well, plenty of fish out there, just not the ones we're after. One thing is, there's a lot of mackerel out there and a lot of sand eels, which I'm guessing there is based on the fact that that mackerel coughed one up Sometimes you're competing with natural food and you're always going to be second choice. Come out for a nighttime session, bring sunglasses and not a headlight. What an absolute turkey. That's the problem with fishing though, it gets you too excited and you forget things. It's got the vibration of another Mackerel. Fast onto a thick stem of kelp that I kind of know is going to overpower me leader knot, so I'm going to have to get in, hopefully not for a swim. Yes, off you go, fella. It's almost in these sorts of nights when the tide starts to turn, it's almost like you can hear it turning. It's just a little bit more activity at your feet and it feels like it just starts to liven up a little bit. Like something just snacked at that lure there. Just pause it. Oh, there's definitely something having a look. Yep, there he is. There he is. Ooh. Now, this is either a bigger mackerel or, oh no, I think this is a bass. That had the drag of a bass there. I don't think this is a mackerel. I'm just going to try and keep some side strain on him. Keep those hooks solid. If this is a mackerel, it's a bloody big one. I don't believe it, it's a bloody mackerel. Ah, foul hook. He gave us a cracking bite. Yeah, it is a bigger mackerel that he's there. Yeah, much bigger one. That's why it felt like something else. It's a decent mackerel, that, to be fair. Right, come here, sunshine. Yep. Nicely lip hooked. See if we can keep him under control. Come on. That's not a bad mackerel, that. Not the biggest in the world, but not a bad one. Give us a cracking fight. Amazing watching them swim off. I'm just going to lower me drop. Give that a proper blast. I do find those pachinkos cast better when you just lower, you give yourself a slightly longer drop. You just allow the rod to compress a little bit more. They do tend to fly. I'd love to show you a bass just before the light. Oh, something just grabbed that as I stopped there. That was mental, that. I'd actually stopped winding. It must have followed it and hit it as I stopped it. Start waffling on the camera again. Oh. And away, in the words of Bob Mortimer. Splendid.
There's a fish. There's a fish. Back wind on this reel's decided to go, which isn't making life easy. Yep, he's a smaller one. But despite being smaller, he still managed to take all 3 hooks. There you go. Well, not the evening that I anticipated, to be honest. Didn't get any bass. Tried for them on the top and into the dark there with the soft plastics. No joy, unfortunately, but we did get, God, I don't know, 15, 20 mackerel off the top, which is always good fun, especially on an evening like tonight. All sorts of displays with rain and rainbows and stuff like that. So we'll be out hopefully on the boat trying for taupe tomorrow. We'll see what that brings, but as always, thanks for watching. As always, keep fishing, tight lines. We'll see you on the next one.